So there's a flower shop near my workplace in downtown, and I go there maybe once every couple months. One time I saw this really cool vase. It was light green, and it had like cracks, not real cracks, but like cracked designs on the outside. And it really drew my attention because it made me think about like how the vase, it was a whole vase, but it had cracks all over it, crack design. So it reminded me of how we as people, us as individuals, we also make a lot of mistakes, but that shapes us into who we are, and it's what gives us our character and our beauty. So I bought that vase and I have it at my desk at work to remind me that even though I make a lot of mistakes, it makes me who I am. And it's okay to make mistakes, and you can still be a beautiful vase. It also reminds me of a story I read. So there's this lady who lived in the village, and every day she would carry 2 vases of water on a stick. So the vases were on ropes and they were on a stick on her shoulder. So she would go to the lake and get some water, and one of the vases was cracked. So when she got back to her home, one of the vases was full of water and the other one was only half full because the water would leak out of the crack. And then one day the cracked vase said to the lady that it felt so useless that it couldn't carry as much water as the other vase. So the lady said, I know about your crack, and it's not a flaw that you have. If you notice, on one side of the road that I walk home, I have planted flowers, and without you, I wouldn't have a beautiful garden. So I knew about this characteristic about you, and that's how I utilized it to have a beautiful garden. And so that story teaches us that everyone is different, and that those differences are what makes us special and unique. For the last couple of days, I've been trying to get over something difficult, and I think I'm almost over it. But I realized, just like every time that I go through a difficult issue, that those are the times that I grow the most and I learn the most, and I change as a person so much more during those times. So at first it was really difficult when you're in the moment to believe that things are going to get better. I guess it's like the example where when you're in a tunnel, it feels all you see is darkness, but you'll eventually see the light at the end. And I also like to think like the darker the night, the brighter the stars. So the harder the time you're going through, the more you will learn, and the better you'll be as a person afterwards. And so after this issue, it made me appreciate life more, and people, and simple things, And I've found that I've been smiling and saying hi to strangers a lot more, and just appreciating everything around me. Earlier this afternoon, I was just thinking that it seems like the more that I get my heart broken, the more that my heart actually opens up. And that's a good thing. And the other thing about getting hurt is that when other people are going through difficult times, you can relate to them more. You can really understand them. So every time that you're going through a difficult problem, just think of the past when you've had even more difficult problems, and at that time you felt like you couldn't get out of it, you couldn't get over it, but you did, and you were better as a person. And I also know that the happiest people are the people who have had to go through a lot of difficulty in their lives, because they appreciate the little things. So they try to be happy as much as possible. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is how to win an argument. So, how to win an argument. If the other person is yelling and you're yelling, then they're only going to hear your yelling. They're not going to hear their yelling. So you can't win. If you want to win, then if they're yelling, then you can talk softly, and then only using that method can they hear themselves yelling, and then they will stop yelling, hopefully. But at least even if they don't stop yelling, they will remember your soft words, what you said, more than if you were yelling. Because if you were yelling, all they can hear and focus on is that you're yelling. They won't realize that they're yelling. So that's how you win an argument, or at least increase your chances of winning an argument and getting your voice heard. So happy winning.